welcome to the next chapter of class 10 SEBA board for computer science, where we will be looking at the nested loop topics in C programming. So when we talk about nested loop basically refers to a loop inside another loop. So as you can see from the definition itself, whenever we write a loop inside another loop, we call it as a nested loop, right? So there would be a loop, and inside that loop there would be another loop. So those kind of loops are called the nested loops. The first loop is called the outer loop, and then the loop that appears inside another loop is called the inner loop. So whatever that loop is there in the outer part, that is called the outer loop, and then the loop that is inside that outer loop is called the inner loop. There can be more than one inner loop in a program. The nested loop construct simplifies programming in many cases. This also reduces the programming length. So why we use nested loop is if we want to implement a logic inside another logic, that is the scenario where we use the nested loop. And it is one of the most common programming paradigm that is used in any of the programming language available, be it C, C++, JavaScript, Python or anything, right? So here is a problem statement. If you look carefully about the problem statement states that we need to print the below pattern. So if I explain you this program, there is a first line which has like 5 star, the next line has 4 star, the next line has 3 star, the next line has 2 star, and then the final line has 1 star. So when you encounter such kind of pattern in any of the programming language, what would be your thought process behind solving this problem statement? We will see in our upcoming slides. So if you see here, right, if you look closely to this pattern, you can see the type of pattern that it creates is like from the top to down, it is coming like lower to lower. So there would be two loops. One is called the outer loop, the another is called the inner loop. What does the outer loop does? The outer loop will signifies what is the number of rows that are present to be printed in this pattern way, right? So if you see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There are like 5 rows that needs to be printed. So that is the reason if you see k is equal to 1 to 5, which means this will control the number of rows, right? And then the inner loop, when you use the inner loop, this loop is used for printing the number of x. Okay, say for example the k value is 1 here. So if you see the inner loop, this inner loop will do like I is equal to 1 to 6 minus k, which means 6 minus 1. So initially the k value would be 1, right? So I to 5. So this statement will print the 5x. And then when the k value will become 2, that time this inner loop will run from I is equal to 1 to 6 minus 2, which is like 4. So in that case 4 star will be printed. Similarly for the other rows. Now if you see this calculation, right, row wise calculation, I have defined here the value of k. The value of the k is defined from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then the inner loop, which is the expression loop which actually prints the number of x, it goes from 6 minus k, which means 6 minus 1. So in that case 5 star would be printed. Similarly, when it comes to the second row, here the k value will become 2, and when the k value will become 2, if you replace k with 2, then 6 minus 2 will come as 4. In that case, like the 4x will be printed. Similarly for the third row, k value is 3. So if you see the controlling expression, which will result in 6 minus 3, which is 3. So in that case 3x will be printed. Similarly for the fourth row, When you put k value as 4, 6 minus 4 will become 2. In that case 2x will be printed. The final one is 5, so 6 minus 1 is equal to 6 minus 5 is equal to 1, and in that case 1x will be printed. So if you see here, the k value will control how many number of rows that needs to be printed, and then the inner loop will control like what is the number of x that needs to be printed. So this is one of the execution of the C program that I have done in Visual Studio Code. It starts with #include stdio.io.h. This is the like the standard way in which we define the functions. Int main, we initialize the two variable k and I, and this k value will run it from k is equal to 1 to k less than equal to 5. So this is the outer loop. This outer loop will signifies like how many rows, in this case 5. So if it is 5, like we wanted to print 5 rows, right? So that is the reason we made that loop run from k is equal to 1 to k less than equal to 5. And when the k value will become 6, 6 less than or equal to 5 will become false, and then the inner loop will not be executed. That is the condition where our program gets terminated. And inside, if you see I is equal to 1, I less than equal to 6 minus, so initially if k value is 1, 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. So I less than equal to 5, that is correct. So this loop will run from I is equal to 1 to I less than equal to 5. That means 5x got printed here, right? And then when this 5x got printed, it comes out of this for loop, and then it prints a /n. /n means the cursor will then move into the new line. So /n signifies that the cursor will go to the next line. So next time when the loop will execute, it will start printing from here, right? Now the k value will become 2, and when the k value will become 2, 2 less than equal to 5 condition is true. So if the condition is true, it will go inside this loop, and then it will print from I value is 2, 2 less than equal to 6 minus 2 is 4. So it will print from I is equal to 1 to I equal to 4. So in that case 4 loops will get printed, 4x will get printed. So that is how like this entire program gets executed, and this pattern gets printed here.